episode of Crush Your Mountain Wellness. I want to thank you so very much for being here with us this evening or this afternoon, because I have with me an amazing colleague of mine, and we're going to talk about the concept of transformation. You understand, this is Chrysalis Transformational Coaching, and what we do is work with individuals to make significant shifts in their perspective, significant shifts in their lives, and significant shifts in their health for the better. Well, I have with me a fellow transformational coach. Her name is Lizeth DeTorres, and I am so pleased and happy to have her with us. We're going to talk a little bit about menopause and the challenges facing that. We're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be transformational. And indeed, we're going to really talk a little bit about the challenge of dealing with big food, big pharma, as well as the confluence of pharma, food, as well as medicine, the doctors in particular, and what's happening there, and why you need to take charge of your own health. So without any further ado, let's welcome the beauty from Fort Lauderdale, Senora Lizeth DeTorres. Bienvenidos a Crush Your Mountain. Welcome to Crush Your Mountain Wellness.
Thank you, Henry. It's a pleasure for me to be part of your audience. And so thank you, and hi to everyone. And I'm happy to be here and share this special moment, and to share with others that there's still possibilities. I'm passionate about possibilities. So nothing is that bad that we cannot, have a chance to transform, to change, to have a change in our lives. So this is a great opportunity to talk about those opportunities, that transformation that it can be triggered from understanding and a little bit of knowledge. So this is what we're here for.
Absolutely. So, we talk, as you said before, the idea is transforming lives. Now, with my aspect, with my segment of the company, of the business, it's about helping individuals to reverse type 2 diabetes, to lose weight, to make a specific change in your life, to build some muscle, which helps to maintain metabolic health. That's a transformation in itself. Case in point, my friend Chris, who was a client of mine, who lost 20 pounds. More my friend Rita, who lost a significant amount of weight. We never talk about a woman's weight. But what the most important thing is that they made those changes, but also they developed a significant transformation in the way they view themselves and the world. Tell us a little bit, why is continuous transformation, continuous change, continuous metamorphosis so vital, particularly nowadays?
Well, it's about I would resume by telling that it's about for us to retake the responsibility, our willpower, to decide consciously and purposely what is the kind of life that we want to live. We don't know what we don't know. And that was me a long time ago, before I start with coaching and this amazing career that allowed me to literally share and to provide that through my experience, what I have worked and what have not worked. But I would say the main, at least from my own experience, is not knowing what's going on, not knowing which route we should take, and why things happen in the way it happens. We allowed life literally to throw to our way, whatever, and we just take it as the last thing and the only possibility. I figured out that we have choices. I figured out that we do have a say, that whatever is happening is not set stone, that we have the possibility to at least to questioning the things that are happening, why, and what are the options that we have, and there is other ways that we can take, and start exploring those ways. So literally, instead of letting the life just pass by, we just literally taking that control and decide from now on what do we want to do and how.
You know something, I fully understand that. You know, so many times we are in this state of flux and things happen, and we say to ourselves, well, why is this happening to me? You know, and here's just an interesting shift. You know, one of the things that Lizeth and I like to do is to reframe a perspective. So why not think about it this way? Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Ask, why is this happening for me? Or better yet, where is the benefit in this happening for me?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes life is not about challenges. Life is about opportunities. Okay. So, you know, tell us a little bit more of your story and how you began the journey of health coaching, basically starting with your own health.
Yeah, well, it's been a long journey. I guess everyone has their own story. It's just how we connect to each other, to our own stories. So along the way, even though I know about transformation and I know about taking control of my life and making important primal decisions in my life, one of the things that I didn't pay attention was my health. So by the time that I reached 40-ish something, I started struggling with hormonal, changes and everything that, as a woman, we face at a certain time in our lives. So that day came when the doctor told me about, you are getting through premenopause. So what are you going to do? One thing that I knew that I was for sure, I didn't want to take any kind of, treatment or conventional medicine, because I'm always have been in tune with my body, kind of read and try, allow myself to adapt to things. And that's for sure, there's something that I don't want. And when I said to her what I was planning to do and go through the process, the answer from her and from the nurse that was in the room said, "Oh, baby, so good luck with it." So from that moment, I know from the medical perspective, they kind of support that there is, an alternate way or holistic way to treat those symptoms, but it's only one way, and that is pharmaceutical way, their own way. So I started literally searching and trying to get more acclimated with that information as what other sources do I have. And that's when I found that one of the great opportunities that we have is to heal ourselves or heal our bodies or help ourselves through functional food. Functional food is nothing but just going back to the basics, fruits and vegetables, and a great nutrition. Nowadays, you may agree with that the fact that we don't have the best out in the market. Everything is chemically altered. It's processed food everywhere. So it's literally a minor amount of choices that you have that you consider that is good whole food, real whole food out of any process and chemicals and things like that. So I start kind of getting into it and try to change my diet. And I see how my body received it right away. And it was very interesting because the body naturally knows what it needs. We don't know. And we think that because we're hungry and we just get a piece of cake that will feed us. Sure, it will fill my tummy, but it's not giving me the nutrition that my body needs to actually function properly in the way it should.
That's so very true when it comes to the body. And, it's amazing that, at 14 years old, you dealt with this challenge. And then, and now here you are 18 years old.
Thank you.
And you're completely free. You know what? But, the thing is, going to the doctors, and this is a challenge with most people, we have a habit of, number one, there's so many of us that goes to the doctor, they tell us what to do, and we just do nothing.
Sure.
Okay, we just do nothing. Okay. I went to my doctor just the other day, and he says, out of all my patients, you're the only one that took charge of your health. I just these days, I just give them the pill and let them go on, and they keep coming and they get worse. Okay. So a lot of doctors, as my doctor initially told me, with my condition, it's hereditary. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, I'll give you insulin and I'll give you this and that until you know, and that's that. But I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And I have worked to maintain it. And he's amazed. He says, there's no sign of diabetes or anything else, but, you know, I don't know what you did, but you keep doing it, right?
There you go. There you go.
Here's
You took charge.
Exactly. I took charge and I didn't listen to the conventional wisdom.
Correct. Correct. It's limited. Henry,
Right.
it's limited because they go along the guidelines, literally what is in the book. If it's not in the book, they just give you the pill. We are called inflammation nation in the US, and that is for a reason. We treat everything based on painkillers and you know, disinflammatories. Besides that, we don't do anything because the conventional medicine doesn't go to the root, to the cause of the problem. They treat the symptom. While the functional medicine actually looks for the real cause and treat it right there to the spot where the issue is.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's what's so amazing about it. Because when we deal with the functional medicine, what they're looking for is to treat the body with the one thing that is the absolute medicine, and that's food. You know, Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food.
It is written.
Yeah, yeah. And we have gotten to the point where we are living in a world that's run, as far as the health and wellness industry is concerned, that's kind of run and influenced heavily by the pharmaceutical industry and by the food industry. And dare I say these days, even by the fashion industry, you see, because, you know, you get a certain size, especially with our dear ladies, okay, we love our ladies, we want them to be healthy. And one of the biggest things I've noticed is that what used to be a size 14 is now size 12. It's the same size. They change the number. Why? Because they want you to love your body. No, what they want you to do is to buy the product and not worry about your health, not worry about your size. You know, it's more than just looking good, okay? Dare I say, Lizeth is one who looks good, okay? It's very, very appealing. However, that wasn't her initial goal. Her initial goal was to maintain her health, get herself well, get herself healthy. You see, if you have your health, you have your wealth because you can do anything you need to do.
If you don't have that, you don't have nothing, Henry. To be
true.
honest, and this is where we start, and that's exactly what the kind of conclusion I have. I can continue, you know, guiding people to transformational processes, but if they don't have health and I don't have health, it doesn't matter how much we strive to do that. The fact that we can keep a balance between, you know, a good life, a good lifestyle, along with a good diet, a good nutrition, and as a few good habits through the day that help us tremendously and impact our life and health in an amazing way. So we're going to be, you know, going less to doctor's appointment. We're going to have a better mindset. We're going to be without, you know, that much of anxiety and stress. I mean, let's face it, we live in a very, very tough times nowadays, in a very fast pace. So it's kind of difficult for us. And I say from my stand as a mother, trying to keep up with all the roles that I need to do, and yet have, you know, to keep up your work and whatever your professional, you know, job is. So it's difficult. And sometimes we just go for what is easy, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing. So I guess we need to make a commitment to ourselves and to our families to try to make that little effort. Everything that is good for us, it requires effort and requires investment in some you know, extent from us in order to be consciously making decision and purposely applying it towards the goals that we want to achieve.
Absolutely. You know, when it comes to food, you see, many individuals have found simply by cutting out sugar itself, that in itself can make all the difference.
Of course.
And then, if you want to take it one step further, okay, they are still pushing the standard American dietary guidelines that have been out here since the last 40 years or so. And what that means is they want you to eat all the pasta, all the grains that you can, and then go for your leafy green vegetables, and then go for your meat, which is ridiculous. Why? Because we've seen how individuals are metabolically unhealthy. Like we say, we are an inflammation nation here in the United States, and that is such a big challenge because so many people are having trouble just walking because they're addicted to this highly palliative, high carb, high sugar food that is in their bodies that inflames them. And I'll tell you something, even myself, I remember a time when I found it terrible, almost just to walk down the hallway. There was a point where I could feel it in my hips and my joints, as well as my knees, where it was just, I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was one thing, but interestingly enough, I made a switch just in terms of my eating lifestyle. And all of a sudden, I didn't have the problem anymore. So why not try this? Why not? And all of you who are listening now, who really want to take the charge, just try one thing. Put away the tortillas for now. Put away the rice, arroz. In French, we say riz, okay? Put away the arroz. Put away the rice, okay? Anyway, just side note, gotta tell you this. Back when I was a kid, I was watching Canal 47 in New York. That's where I'm from, right? There's always this commercial. The guy would say, no, diga arroz, diga dita arroz, But you put that away, okay?
Of course,
put away for a bit and go with your leafy greens, go with your high-fat fruits and vegetables. And by the way, avocado may not taste all like a fruit, but it's a fruit. It's got a big seed in it. But you use that. And you know what? You can even go with the green plantains, okay? In the West Indies, and my family, half of my family is from, they use a boiled plantain for breakfast in the morning, very low in sugar, very high in protein, very high in carbohydrate, and it is an absolute must to have on your plate in the morning, and it keeps you going, keeps you full. But I like to add a good, healthy dose of protein because the protein and the fat keeps you full. And when you're full, your brain doesn't say, feed me. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So talk a little bit more about what you discovered in terms when it comes to the food industry.
Well, we are, I would say, first of all, overdose with those painkillers, because once again, this is the industry is what they provide. And the other thing is overdiagnosed, meaning that we understand that medical industry, along with the pharmaceutical industry, they kind of maintain us distracted a little bit here, trying to, and kind of not force us, but they give us so much content, for example, on the TV, and they provide that you can take this pill for this and this for that, and they put the disclaimers, and just by reading the disclaimers, you were thinking, what should I take that? It's going to fix something, but it's going to kind of harm another part of my body. So, but one of the things from our side, Henry, is the fact that we want things fast. We want things like, okay, take me this pain away and I don't want to deal with it no more. And talking about taking charge, we need to understand that we need to be, I would say, kind to ourselves. We need to be truthful to ourselves and allow our bodies to gradually make the changes. It has to be done, but along with the efforts that we also have to do. But if I want to take the pill because I want to have that, the 3 or 4 pieces of pizza, and that, and I don't want to sacrifice that, or the pasta dinner with the family, things like that. So obviously, there's no way for us to get the results that we want, and we just get for what is the easier route, which is just get the pill, and that's it.
Yes, yes, yes. That's such a big challenge. And the thing about it is they are so I guess, sneaky with it. That's the whole idea. Now, if the latest thing, I don't know if you heard about this. This is something that has been talked about on Sean Stevenson's, on Dr. Mark Hyman. A lot of the doctors, a lot of the professionals in the health and wellness and longevity field have actually been discussing this particular thing called Ozempic and what can happen. There is now what's called the Ozempic face. The big challenge is they are now recommending that they prescribe this weight loss pill to minors.
Imagine that.
Now what's happening? They say you want to lose weight, so you start taking this pill. Okay, that's for diabetics. And yeah, you lose weight, but what it does, it sucks every bit of fat out of the body. You need some fat. You get the full face full, you see, and individuals are finding themselves with more wrinkles and other side effects. And by the way, let's just talk about the concept of side effects, because do you ever find a pill, and you can see somewhere on that pill where it says, where can you find the side effect in the pill? Can you dissect that off? One nurses will tell you that they are trained that there's the desired effect, the side effect, and the adverse effect. Now that's 3 things. Take a pill and then divide it into 3 sections. Which one is the adverse, side, and desired? I just take the desired if I was me. But the fact of the matter is these are effects. Okay? The concept of a side effect in a pill is basically a marketing concept to let you know, well, this is just going to happen, but what you really want is the cure that's in there with the other stuff that could kill you or harm you.
Definitely.
See? Hippocrates said this because he created that Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. So why are we prescribing that? But more importantly, what can you, the patient, okay, what can you, the human being, do to protect yourself, protect your health, instead of going for the quick fix pill? Why not set a goal to get yourself healthy, metabolically flexible, and reach a point where you'll be surprised how fast that time goes, and you are much better off. In the time that I began this journey, not only was I able to lose a little weight, put on a little muscle, and fit into size 32 back in my college weight. Okay.
Great.
Okay. Not only that, but in that time, there are so many others that I know that have followed the ideologies of their conventional medical professional doctors, and they have gained the weight. They have gotten worse. At times, some of them can barely walk.
Yes.
Why? Because they're giving their God-given responsibility of their health into the hands of someone else that just wants their money.
That's true. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because actually this morning I was talking with someone that is actually kind of ill. And whenever he mentioned what, he was struggling with, it sounds like, I said, it sounds like you need to, take other routes and see what can be done. And the answer, sadly, is like the doctors knows better. and whatever the doctor said is what it should be done. And he's going to wait until the doctor, keeping on more painkillers, literally, because it's what it's doing until the treatment works, is what it says, So we still caught up on that kind of concept. And don't get me wrong, it's not that it didn't work at some time, but the pharmaceutical industry as well as the medical sector is changing so much. They're so biased and they're so focused on marketing, not on the human well-being no more, but on the marketing perspective. So they don't have the same kind of engagement and commitment towards the real issue about the actual problem, but towards, they need to deduct, they need the code to deduct it from the insurance companies and so on. And that's sad to say, but it's the truth.
Now, I don't want to beat up on the individuals too much. And you're right. Some doctors really go in with the desire to help, but they become quickly disillusioned because, again, number one, patients really oftentimes we don't take the charge. And that's very sad. We would rather save, and this is where it comes down to being penny wise and pound foolish. We would rather save the money, save the cost of taking the steps of getting healthy and maintaining our health, which would give us a nice, expensive, long life. You see, yeah. When I say that, you are rich when you are healthy. Look at the rest of the world where there are people who cannot get healthy, right? So you have your health, you have your wealth. But now they'd rather though take the pill for the ill to give them another side effect for which they have to go back to the doctor and get another pill for the side effect that makes them ill again with another side effect, and they go back to the doctor for.
Exactly.
And in the meantime, the doctor's getting the training. Where is he getting the training from? From a pharmaceutical industry who has a new pill. And here, we'll train you on this one. When they have this problem, you give them this, and you give them this amount of dose. Here are the side effects, you let them know. You see, that's the challenge that the industry is facing. But what's more important? It's the challenge that you, the consumer, you, the patient, you, the human being, the person, that's what you're facing.
It's true. It's true.
Tell us.
It's no brainer, I would say, because we were told we kind of fix one thing and 10 more are there waiting to be fixed, is how it works. Mm-hmm. So we are a whole. And I guess, in the way that I can explain this is we cannot just keep on the conventional side. Now more than ever, we open to a different opportunities, talking about opportunities. And there's other ways, because we understanding that there's more than that is written on book. Doctors as they are, they're not kind of trained, for example, to treat things or to treat illnesses along a good diet, for example, or they don't have a high education in nutrition and things like that, because literally what they do is they focus on the actual symptom. Once again, so they don't know what they don't know either. They time to, to provide what they understand that is the right thing. And I can see doctors, conventional doctors, that now I'm kind of taking, a certification on nutrition is one of them, or on, for example, naturopathy and things like that, because they understanding there's more components to it. It's not just one thing. So, and it's what we call the wellness, the well-being of the body, because we're mind, body, spirit. So we cannot deny that. So, and it should be all these components coming together, because talking about, for example, weight that is not related to a specific illness or, situation going on, but a lot of it has to do with stress, high cortisol in our bodies because of stress levels that we manage nowadays, anxiety, and coming once again through experience. And the way that I used to fix my emotional issues is going to the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. So what can I expect? I'm gaining weight. Voila. You know, so, and you see that the emotional component now comes along with the rest. And doctors, conventional doctors, they don't ask you, okay, Ms. Torres, so how's your day going today? Is your emotional, your relationships are doing okay? No, they don't. They don't. They go to the symptom and they go to, you know, to how they're going to treat you, and they're going to tell you, you know, whatever. And so that's the thing. So we need.
Seems like you're depressed. Let me give you an antidepressant. That's what they
exactly.
do.
Exactly. And that's we become on the other extreme, because it's when they over prescribe you, because they just try to find an answer, but they don't go deeper to it. And we are emotional beings as well. We struggle with things every day. We have challenges, and that component needs to be considered taking, you know, part of the whole picture. And once again, I said before, we need to be kind to ourselves. Nobody will tell you, Henry, there's no doctor, there's no one that could tell you and know better than you, than us, to know what is going on. They may not know, but I know. I know.
That's absolutely. And that's the key. It's that internal knowing. You know, as Sean Stevenson likes to refer to the body's intelligence, you know, and it's true, because we're finding out so many things about the human body. The fact that, you know, there's the heart-brain connection, but then there's the gut-brain connection, but then there's the microbiome connection. Now, here's the other thing. Dr. Bruce Lipton came out with a book some 10 years ago or so called the Biology of Belief. It has a later edition now, an updated version. But he's one of the individuals that pioneered the understanding and the later understanding, the newer understanding of epigenetics. So when it comes to genetics, okay, well, genetically, my ancestors were African, and therefore I am African. Kind of obvious, I guess. You know, I am mesomorphic, meaning that genetically my family kind of had the propensity to either gain or lose weight quickly, or gain or lose muscle quickly. Okay, so that's me. All right. Some people are ectomorphic. Genetically, you can see their grandfather, great-grandfather, they can eat like a 5-ton piece of cake and not gain an ounce.
How lucky.
Right? Okay. There are those who, but that's genetic. But then there's this epigenetic. That means the environment affects your body. The environment determines what happens with your body. How you treat your body determines that. So if someone says, oh, well, you know, you're just, high blood pressure, diabetes runs in your family. Here's the question, why? What have they been doing all that time in that household, in that lifestyle, throughout the generations that you're doing yourself that is causing it? You see? You know, so that's one of the things that you have to take a look at, take into consideration and look at. You know, there's so many other things that, the microbiome, okay? You know, nowadays, all they do, and here's what's interesting. I don't know if you remember this, but it wasn't that long ago that there was no such thing as an antibacterial hand wash and all this stuff. You know, everything became antibacterial. Then you have the antivirus, and then you had now of course you have to take the antibiotic, okay? And what they realized is that, you know, they just killed everything. It was like being in Vietnam when they carpet bombed an area. It didn't matter what plant was good or what plant was bad. It was all burned into a cinder. Well, that's what happens. Well, what does the food industry do? Instead of encouraging us to eat foods that actually put the healthy microbes back into our body, because we need them. And by the way, there are more flora and fauna, microscopic flora and fauna on our bodies than our cells itself. The thing is, when we have, instead of doing that, oh, they sell us a probiotic this and a probiotic that and a probiotic the other thing, not realizing that each individual is a unique individual with their own unique microbiome makeup.
Yes, yes. And more nowadays, there's more research about it. We're talking more about it, and that allowed us to understand. And it's very interesting because it's the body is designed in such perfection that everything works in connection completely. And as we're just trying to, understand, we'll know what it happens or why we're feeling the way we feel. And it will be better for us to approach different, I would say, opportunities of how to help through our daily life. Very simple stuff, like you mentioned at the beginning, and you were mentioning about, eating more fruits and vegetables and not eating sugar, one step at a time. But for example, another thing we know that the caffeine and alcohol, try to reduce it. The gluten, try to reduce it. I have noticed a huge change on once I stop eating gluten and start buying, just product without it. I feel different. That's me personally. But you need to kind of train and try one thing here and one thing there to see how the body, accepts what the body likes. So you can kind of, create along a lifestyle according to your own, needs, because everyone is different. Maybe I can tell, what, for me, gluten, it didn't work, but for you, you don't have any issue with that, and that's fine. But nobody can be treated equally. It's not possible.
Are there holistic practices that our clients can follow, can take, just something simple that they can do to improve their health and their wellness? And I say wellness, which to me takes into consideration your health and your state of being. Tell us, what holistic practices can they engage in?
Well, there's many. Definitely having a better eating lifestyle. It will help us tremendously, because we are what we eat, no doubt. If we put heavy stuff in our bodies, if we put a lot of sugar, and we put, all kind of, processed food, the body becomes lethargic, heavy, and obviously weight is putting on more pounds on us. So automatically you kind of sluggish, right? So that is the most important thing. But for example, things like take time to be in nature, to have a walk, not to do exercise, just to release your mind out of whatever day you had and to relax. Take time for yourself. If you would like to journal, get out of your, I would say, your surroundings. You're always in the house, and this is me, Lizeth. When I need to take time, I need to get out of the house, because once I'm here and I plan to do it, I'm start looking around and all the things that needs to be done. So obviously I sacrifice my time because there's things that need to be done. We need to set a time, and we need to be respectful of that time, because it's for ourselves. It's to obviously to get better, to feel better. Either you meditate, great. It's a great resource. Either you walk, whatever works for you, any kind of exercise. If you like to go to the gym, go to the gym. If you like to ride bicycle. But there's some things that we can integrate along the way in order to help us in feel better, look better, and live better overall.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'll tell you something. There's so many things that can be done. this practice that the Japanese have called forest bathing, which does not mean you get naked and bathe in the lake in the forest. What it means is that you are walking and then you are sitting and experiencing the surroundings of nature and getting connected with that. Open up your senses to it. Inhale the air, feel the sunlight, and enjoy, and watch how your body responds to it. Sitting with your family also, okay, a nice opportunity. And I did this with one of my little girls. I said, my son has 6 gorgeous, beautiful little girls, and the 4th one, she tends to be the rubber ball. She is bouncing all over the place as if someone threw a ball and it just won't stop bouncing. But what I did was amazing, because she was she's very high strung, and she's also very concerned about certain fears that she has. And I had her sit down. I took her a bit. I got her to sit down. And I got her to sit in front of me, cross her legs on the floor, close her eyes. And she began to breathe. And we counted off the breath. We counted off how long we held the breath. And then we counted off how long we exhaled. And just in 5 minutes of that, I said, how do you feel, sweetheart? He said, I feel calm.
Yes.
But here's what's so interesting about that. And you might try this. I don't know, you haven't told us about your beautiful family and how many you have, but here's just something to try. You can take if you've got more than 2, that might be overwhelming more, but take them together and sit down. And I do this with my clients sometimes when I work with them in person. Sit down, close our eyes, and we begin to breathe together and focus on just the idea of peace and love. And we focus in on that. And here's what's interesting. Our hearts begin to sync up. Now the heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends 3 feet out from the body. And it expands as you begin this practice of sharing. And it's an incredible bonding experience. And it relaxes the body. And so if you have high blood pressure, it goes down. If your glucose is elevated, which with all the cortisol and everything bouncing off and back up, it goes down. Yeah. And you begin to feel the peace. And just like my little girl said, you'll feel calm. And then listen, now you can reach me, of course, everyone knows that you can reach me at henrygassinscoach.com. They can reach me on Instagram as well as Facebook. Okay, I have 2 accounts. The third one with my health and wellness books will be coming out on that one. Where can we find Lizeth DeTorres?
Well, they can find me in Instagram, and they can find me in Facebook and through my email. So, but sure enough, on the social media, I'm kind of rebranding everything it's a new year, a new me. So we're going to be soon trying to redirect efforts, but definitely on Instagram and social media, we're there.
Do you have any events coming up?
Excuse me? Events? Yes. Actually, I'm preparing a webinar. It's a free webinar that we're going to talk about more and more about what we discussed today and how dysfunctional food works in your body, and more deeper into it, and plans for you to kind of help and to adapt to your lifestyle. So that is coming soon. Just keep an eye on them. I'm going to be posting it, so everybody is invited. Excellent.
I look forward to being there myself, because I like to share it. I like to learn.
Of course.
And that's the good thing about the great thing about this journey is there's always new information coming out. And even if this stuff that you have learned, when you present it, when someone else presents it to you, it often comes out in a new way. It opens up new insights. So I have one last question that I ask all of my guests. And this is the game changer. All the chips on the table. Fourth down if you do that sort of thing. With all of your experience and your love for people, your passion, with all the coaching that you've done with others and even yourself and your family, Lizeth DeTorres, what does it mean to you to crush your mountain?
Wow, that's a big one. It's an everyday challenge. It's an everyday challenge. I believe that we are overcomers, and there's things, once again, that even though we have taken over our willpower and trying to accommodate things and plan ahead, like I mentioned at the beginning, to have a purpose in intentionally do things, there are things that they're out of control. And that's, to me, is when I can take that in consideration, that to crush my mountain means to take all that experience and information that on times of struggles and challenges, we tend to forget, because it's easy to say that being there and remember from where you're coming from and to actually implement it. So for me, crushing my mountain is an everyday challenge. I strive for that. There are days that I can do it easily, smoothly, and there are days like, geez, I need to kind of give the battle there. But one thing I'm sure, and I always said that to myself and to my kids and actually to my clients, the goal is the same. The route may change, but the goal, it will be always the same. You may find different ways. Look for those opportunities.
Think about that. There is a challenge every day. The idea is when you are going to have to deal with the mountain in your life, every day and every moment, you take the time and you take that challenge head on. Understand that you have all this power, everything at your disposal. You take your health into your own hands and look forward to making changes in your own life. Don't just fall prey to a pill for every ill that will make you sicker and sicker and sicker. Take the steps. You may not like it at first, but when you get used to it and you see the results, I guarantee you will love it. So again, Lizeth DeTorres, I want to thank you so very much for being here with us today. And I want to just sort of let everybody know a couple of things, just so that you're aware in terms of events. And I'm going to post it also today, right after this show. We have a 5-week summer body challenge. That's in other words, for 5 weeks, we will be coaching you, okay, so that you can reach the goal of losing the weight in order to get your body ready for summer. Now, this is not going to, at the end of these 5 weeks, whether or not you are looking like I don't know, a bikini beach body baby, or looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't know. That's entirely up to you. But by the end of the 5 weeks, the results you will have is you will have a significant loss of weight and you will feel so much better, and you will be happy to be on the beach and enjoy the sunshine, which is part of your wellness program. We're going to invite you. We'll let you know when it's going to start and what's involved in that. And we look forward to seeing you there. But also, we just want to again thank you again, Liz. And again, as I tell everyone at this time, don't just climb your mountain, crush them. See you next time.
See you next time. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.